Hey there, this is Mahadeva, the OG Thunder Wizard. Sorry, I'm trying to get my accoutrement. Alright, so today we are going to be talking about how to use the eight-sided thunder wheel, or what is more commonly known as the thunder wheel, for personal transformation. So, what is a medicine wheel? If you go to your, some new age bookstore, you're going to find all kinds of different books telling you what the medicine wheel is, and most of them are going to, that is a word that a lot of people associate with Native American shamanism. I use that in quotes not because I have any disrespect for Native American indigenous wisdom. I say that because the majority of the books out there and the stuff that you read about Native American shamanism is nonsense. It does not come from Native Americans. Most Native Americans will tell you that they don't go around throwing around their spirituality, and these are usually written by non-Native Americans who are searching. I could, call them all kinds of names, but they're searching. And it really shows the tragedy of what's happened to Native European spirituality. And that's nobody's fault but ours. 2,000 years ago, a little after that, Roman Catholic missionaries showed up, followed right behind, imperial armies of different kings throughout the ages of the Middle Ages, who came and wiped out the indigenous knowledge of Europeans. And so we adopted, well, as it turns out, we adopted a made-up religion based on some Abrahamic stuff, which I already talked about. That was also something that was made up, in AD, or excuse me, 300 BC or something like that, by people who were trying to reinvent their indigenous history so that they could gain political control over their country and their people. That evolved into what we now know as the Abrahamic religions, which spread from Judaism to Christianity to Islam. All three of those religions, more specifically Christianity and Islam, were people that were hijacking that original Abrahamic mythology and doing it one better. So instead of it being about their people, which is what it was about, Abrahamic mythology was really about, let's be our own individual culture and religion, and let's make ourselves completely different from everybody around us so that we can protect our national identity and our boundaries. That's really all it was about. They destroyed their own history and religion of themselves and created a new one. And then Christianity came along and said, hey, that's really effective. How can we get the Romans how can we get those rebellious Jews? They're so attached to this Abrahamic mythology. What is this about? We can use that. We can use that not only to pacify the rebellious Jews, which is what Christianity was originally created for. The whole reason why Jesus was I'm going to have to close my door here for a second. The whole reason why Jesus was a pacifist and a Nazarite was because Nazarites were associated with violent protest and violent rebellion against Roman rule. So they created this Nazarite who was this true Jewish rebellion, and then somehow he became this pacifist who pays his taxes. That's what the whole religion was about. And then they said, hey, this is really good. We can use this to dominate and control the world, because if there's just one God, we can use that. Those people over there don't believe in this one God. Let's convert to this one God. Then let's go over there and let's pound them into submission, saying we're doing this for your benefit so that you can receive Jesus and be saved. And then Islam took it one step further, because Muhammad actually wanted to be a Christian. And his whole campaign against destroying the polytheism, the Arabic polytheism, was to make way for Christianity. He went to the Christians and he said, "Hey, I had a revelation from Jehovah too. We call him Allah over here, but it's the same guy, and I want to be part of you." And Christians said, "No, you can't be part of us. You can't do that. You have to become a Christian. You're not going to do that. You can't do your own thing." So he didn't like that. So he went to the Jews and he said, "Hey, we're brothers, right? We're both, because it's the same language group, very similar culture. Let's hook this thing up together." I talked to Jehovah, and then the Jews said, no, you can't be part of us." Then he got really upset and he launched his jihad. That's what started it all. He got kicked out of the club. He wanted to be part of the monotheist Abrahamic religion, and they didn't want him, and he got his feelings hurt so badly that he started his own religion and his own war, and that's what it's all about. All of that stuff is responsible for why white people want to follow Native American shamanism. That's a long-winded way of saying that's why white people do that. They do that because they don't have an indigenous religion anymore. So we're going to talk about how to use the medicine wheel or the thunder wheel. And this is a version of the 8-sided medicine wheel. It's not a version. This is a symbol that can be used. Let me be clear about it. It's a symbol from my ancestors that can be used for that purpose. So we're going to do that. But before we do that, I am going to go close the door. While I'm doing that, I am going to, unless I've gotten rid of it. Did I get rid of it? I may have gotten rid of it. Let me see if I did. Let me just double check here. No, I didn't. I'm gonna talk to you about something very exciting that's happening at the thunderwizard.com page. But I'm gonna let one of my very good friends and a friend of the channel to talk to you about it right now. Let's see, let's do this. So just give me a second here. Sorry, I was running a little late today. And being a good man, I can only do one thing at a time. Where is it? Come on, where are you? It should be right there. Why aren't you coming up? There it is. Let's see what this guy has to say. Hey there, this is Arnold. Take my money now. Hey there, this is Arnold swears he's bigger, and I want to give you $400 just to go and subscribe to the thunderwizard.com Patreon subscription channel. Listen to me now and go subscribe to me later. I'm telling you something. Listen to me. Put down that Snickers bar, you're getting too lumpy. You have to put down the weights, you have to rest in between. Say what's wrong with you. And you right there, stop watching reality television. Listen to me now. I want to tell you something very important. You're going to go to thunderwizard.com and you're going to subscribe. You've been saying to yourself, I love this Thunderwizard guy. I really want to get into the subscriptions, but I need $400. I'm going to give you $400 because if you go and subscribe for a year, you're going to get 2 months for free. At some of the higher levels, that's $400. If you're at the really high levels, that's a lot more than that. But at the very least, you're going to save yourself $50, $100, $200, $400. Come on. What's wrong with you? This is your time now to take action, to do something important with your life. You've been wanting to subscribe even more. Now you get to subscribe for a year. Go there, thunderwizard.com. Okay, I'm done. Go subscribe. Seriously. Stop watching. Hit stop. Do something with your life. Go subscribe right now. I'm telling you, it's very important. Take my money. Now! All right, so that's what's going on. Now I have closed the door to the noise, and so now I can start talking a little bit. Is the sound on? Let's see, is the sound on? I think the sound is on. Why do you not think the sound is on? Because you had to reboot. Okay, so what are we talking about? All right, so I think I made a video about this before, but I was looking at my notes, thinking about stuff to write about and stuff to talk about, and this came up, and I really liked it. So I'm going to talk about it again. So we've been reading the book, the Thunder Shamanism, and I've been talking with you about how the 8 directions of the thunder wheel / medicine wheel. I'm talking to you about how these are not arbitrary. Again, that's one of the problems. You don't believe me? Go test it out. Go to your local, or even go online. It doesn't matter. Go online and look up books for the medicine wheel, Native American Shamanism medicine wheel, and try and find a model. What I mean by model is a working model. Try and find a working model of the medicine wheel where the directions and the energies of the directions are the same. What you're going to find is that whoever, there's no consistency about what the directions mean, who they are, what the energies of the directions are, which means that it's arbitrary, which means that the assumption that you walk away from is that this is just some cute symbolism that we use, that we deem to be spiritual and all that other stuff, but it doesn't have any practical reality. It's just our cute little thing. And so it gives you the impression that this is arbitrary and has no real meaning. And that's the difference between made up New Age spirituality and spirituality that has an unbroken connection into prehistory. I use that phrase over and over again in my books because spirituality is either a science, meaning that if you do experiments, you will come to the same conclusions no matter where you are in the world. You put A plus B, it equals C. It's gravity works the same in China as it does in South Africa. So that means there's a science, there's a knowledge. Science means body of knowledge, objective reality. And if your spirituality is just arbitrary, that is just part of your spiritual cultural thing that you choose to be, I'm thinking of things which I think are ridiculous, but if I start talking about it, then I'll look like I'm insulting other people's religions, which is not what I'm trying to do. But for me, spirituality is something that teaches us practical ways to connect to non-physical power. You could use the word shamanism. So let's bring up the 9 worlds here. Where is that? There's the 9 worlds there. So in the 9 worlds, we have in the north, we have the mist home. This is my ethnic background. This is, if you do put all the pieces together, this is the placement of the 9 worlds in my ethnic tradition. So in the north, you have the mist home. The northeast, you have the home of the gods, the celestial fortress. In the east, you have the home of the giants, which is also the home of the thunder being and the rising sun. In the southeast, you have the home of the dwarves, and the dwarves represent humanoid, because that's how they're talked about in the myths, humanoid emotional, psychological powers that create the world. So when people say that your emotions create the world, that's what they're talking about. The dwarves are energetic beings. They're not physical, literal beings. They're not beings that walk around with little pointed hats. They're not Scottish, little muscular Scottish men with big red beards walking around with large hammers. Those aren't dwarves. And we know this because of something called the Dvergmal, I think is what it's called. You can look it up if you want. Dvergmal. I believe that is how it is spelled and pronounced. Go look that up. The Dvergmal means, and I think it means, no, and then there's another one called, I don't know, I think Dvergmal, I think, is another word for sorcery, and it translates as dwarf speak. And then there's another ancient Anglo-Saxon thing called with Dwergham, I think it is. With Dwergham. I think that's it. And it means against a dwarf. And in that against a dwarf, because it's in Middle Age, they're becoming Christian. They're Christianizing a pagan ritual which is used to drive away a dwarf that is terrorizing somebody in their sleep, their dreams. So dwarves are these emotional beings that can be positive or negative. They either go out and create reality, or they can be antagonistic. And so this is the realm of the Southeast, which is the dwarf home, the realm of the subconscious mind. Not unconscious, subconscious. Then in the south you have the fire home, which is the home of the realm of the demon named Surt, who is the force of entropy. Entropy cannot be prevented, it can only be stalled. Entropy will come. Entropy will come, and our universe will come apart at the seams. And the southwest is hell home. Hell is the underworld. It is not a place of punishment unless you have unresolved emotional psychological issues, in which case then it is a place of self-created punishment. But it's the home of the goddess Hela, who is in fact, she is the place and the goddess herself. The most loving being in the universe. You may not think so, but the reason why she's the most loving is because she has no agenda. She doesn't care if you love her or hate her. She is only interested in your evolution, which means that she will sit with you for millions of years if you need to beat yourself up, if you need to create a hell for yourself. She will let you do that, and she will sit there and be with you and be a witness and have no emotional reaction, positive or negative, pure unconditional love, until you're ready to move past it and move on, and then she will help you to evolve to the next level. That is in the southwest, the realm of the deepest earth. In the west you have the wind home, the Vanir, the gods of fertility, of magic, of love, of friendship, of family, of death, of wisdom, of change, magic. And they dwell in the west. In the northwest you have the elves, the shining ones, the ascended masters of the human race who have gone to Valhalla. They've been to hell already. They've been to Valhalla. They have finished up everything that they have that connects them to this three-dimensional video game, even if they're looking at it from the outside, and they stand at the door to infinity and they turn around and they look back at us and they guide us when we ask for their help. You can also call them bodhisattvas, same idea. They stand at the door to infinity and turn towards humans with compassion and teach us how our thoughts, our actions, our beliefs have and interconnectedness with everything else in the universe. And so when you get messages from the elves, it will always be in the vein of being aware of how your thoughts, your feelings, your actions affect you positively or negatively, and how that ripples out to the rest of the universe. And you go, oh, so when the alcoholic says, I'm not hurting anybody, I'm just doing my own thing. No, I'm actually harming everybody when I drink myself into a stupor and destroy my life. Oh, when I do what is best for my soul and I share from my knowledge and my experience with love and with a desire to help, not only do I connect to my truest self, but everything in the universe moves up to the next level. Whenever you transform even one molecule within yourself, you're transforming the whole universe. I just got a big hit. Did you get a big hit? I just got a big hit when I said that. It's the most important thing there is. And I know of one way to do that. I think it's the best way. And that is to find out within yourself what gives you the greatest joy. Not what you think you want to do, not what everybody else wants you to do. And a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know. And that's part of the fun of being in this video game, is trying to figure out the difference between what you think you want and what you really want. When you find out what you really want, you tap into this infinity called the soul. And this infinity, which is connected to everything else, every being, every idea in the entire universe, gets bumped up to the next level. That is in the northwest. And then in the center is Midgard, Mid-Yard. Yard means fortress. You know, the fence you have for your yard, it's your enclosure, it's your fortress. Midgard, middle fortress, middle earth. That's where we live. And we live at the apex, where all the other 8 directions combine and come in. And all these 8 directions are found in I shouldn't say every, because I don't know about every. They are found in multiple traditions all over the world that have no linguistic, cultural connection. They've come to the same conclusion. The Taoists came to the same conclusion. They call it by different things. For instance, the dwarf home is called the human door. And the elf home is the home of benevolent counselors. Same thing in the Vedic. Asgard in the Norse is the home of the celestial gods, the highest vibration. And in the Vedic is the home of Ishana Shiva, the master Shiva, the highest evolution, the highest awareness. There's no reason, there's no coincidence there. It's because it's a science. So we're going to talk about how to take this science and use it to empower yourself. Let's take a look again. There is a still of, if you go clockwise, you see that squiggly line with the different colors. That's showing you the density of the energies. It comes in from the north. It's very dense. It's very, emptiness is full of dense energy that has no manifestation. Then it jumps up into the northeast where it's the highest. Remember, that's the highest energy, and then it bounces up and down all the way as it goes across clockwise. Here it is again if you want to take a look at it. So when we're talking about, I'm going to tell you as we go through this how to transform yourself. You're going to get an idea of what the vibration of the energies are for each one of the things that we do in each one of the directions in order to transform ourselves. Again, there's an 8-wheel chart for the planets, for the elements, for the 9 worlds. You can use it. It's a science. You can use that same 9-directional vibrational system for anything, for healing, for knowledge, for awareness, for for magic, for spiritual warfare. You can use it in anything. I am giving you an invaluable tool. If you can understand the concepts of it, you can use it for anything. And that's really what I'm doing here. What I'm doing here is I am giving you these puzzles that I've put together. I still don't completely understand all of it, but I'm like, here, you guys figure it out. Here's what I think's going on. Now you work with it. As I've said before, when I'm done with this life, it'll be because I have given away all of the knowledge that's supposed to come through me, and then I'll be done and I'll be out of here. I'm in no hurry. I'm having a good time. Don't get me wrong. But that's what I'm doing. I'm figuring these things out and I'm putting them together, and I'm not quite sure how it works, and I'm giving them to you. You figure it out. So let's take a look at how this energy works here. So there it goes. You can see it. There's the northeast. Drops down to the east. Drops down to the subconscious realm in the southeast, and then back up in the south where it transforms, and then way back down all the way to the bottom in the earth in the southwest, and then back up to the level in the west, and then goes up to the realm of the elves in the northeast and starts all over again. That is what we're going to do. I'm going to take you through that process in how to transform yourself. Okay, you ready? Before I do that, I'm going to answer questions. This is a question and answer, by the way, so if you have a question, write the word question, and I will do my best to answer it. Dean Evans' question: when we dream, are we primarily interacting with Helheim? Well, I suppose it depends on what kind of dream you're having. I mean, the subconscious and the unconscious are in the same area. They have different functions. So, for instance, the way I see it, the subconscious mind is when you're sleeping, and if you wake up, like you're starting to fall asleep and you wake up and you dreamt that you're back in your office, you were working that day and you're putting papers away. That's because what the subconscious mind does when you're sleeping is because it has recorded every single nanosecond. But you don't have enough hard drive space, permanent hard drive space, to remember everything. So it goes through everything that's happened, and it pulls out, and erases the files it doesn't need. So when you took a dump earlier, it's going to I don't need to remember that. It's going to erase that. But when, there was a fire across the street, you're going to need to remember that maybe for a few days. So you're going to remember that part. That's the subconscious mind. Your unconscious mind is your unresolved psychological issues. And so that's the dreams that you remember. I dreamt that I was traveling to such and such, and my next door neighbor came over and he had these big horns on his head, and then he started eating a bologna sandwich, and the bologna sandwich started screaming, and it turned out it was my grandson. Oh, how did my grandson get into the bologna sandwich? Well, those are unresolved psychological things that are happening in your unconscious mind. Past life stuff is going to be your unconscious mind. So that is Helheim. So to answer your question, when you're dreaming, you're dealing, you can say primarily, but between the two. The dwarf home and the hell home. So for instance, Dean, you ask really great questions. For those of you watching, this is why it's good to actually read the books, do the exercises, watch the videos, because then you can ask really good questions like this about what I teach. Makes me want to talk about it. So one of the things that I do every morning, like for instance this morning, because I'm obsessed with surfing and surfboards, what I do sometimes for weeks, if not months, is I will research surfboards for whatever kind of conditions that I think I don't have the right board for, or just because I'm obsessed with surfing. And so I'm really into the bottom contours. There's a whole science to the bottom contours and the shape of a surfboard and the fins that you use and all of that. And I had just, after doing a lot of research and thinking, came to the conclusion that this one board that I really wanted, came to the realization that it's not going to work for what I want. I've already got one that will do what that one is supposed to do. And there's one that I had been thinking about and I chose not to do it, and then I'm thinking about it. And as I'm waking up, I am processing the bottom contours of that surfboard in my subconscious mind, because I wasn't completely awake yet, but I wasn't asleep. And in that state, I can really see how things go together. So I woke up and went, oh, that's the board I want. It's not the one I wanted, but that's the one that I really need. And so when it comes to your intentions, which is your subconscious mind, that for me, when I'm in between dead asleep and awake, I'm not, lost in a dream, but I'm awake enough to have control over what I'm thinking, then I can really go deep into my intentions. And so that's when I really start, and I can interact with my unconscious. I can take, dreams that I've had, and I bring those characters into my subconscious mind and I talk to them. If there's a question, I'll throw it out there and see which deity wants to respond back. Sometimes nothing happens. So that's the subconscious mind. You're not completely unconscious, but you're not fully in your conscious mind. You can dip back and forth between. So dreaming, I would say, is both of those. But you wouldn't be wrong in saying primarily Helheim, because that's the unconscious. Imashta Lao. What have I said about writing down a question? You write the word question so I can see it. You have a question here. Can you talk about the sounds in each direction? We've already done that when we talked about the 5 elements. So that's where I would go. Go to the 5 elements. And the 5 element sounds. Again, that's why it's good to keep watching the videos, read the books, because I've probably answered your question already. All right, so let's get into it. So where am I here? Let's bring back up one of our friends here. Let's bring this one up. And let's get to a ritual that you can do to transform yourself on a spiritual, psychological level, and how you can use the power of the directions to do that. Okay. So now we've talked through what each of the 9 directions are. You should have an idea of the energies. Again, Mistholm is a denser energy. Asgard is a very high vibrational. Helheim is the densest energy, and it goes in that circle. You saw me do that. So we're gonna do that. So, you know about the spell of the 9 knots, right? So go research that. You don't have to memorize it. I won't get into it. But here's the spell of the 9 knots. Maybe I should write this down as we're going. Facing north. And this you touch the root chakra, so the perineum. If you were to touch each one of the 9, before I go any further, all right, before I confuse you any further, let's do something else. Because each of these 9 worlds that you see here, right? And then you've got, this will make sense to you, then you've got each of the 9 worlds here, and you see where the energies are. So these are also 9 points on the body. 9 energetic points on the body. Okay? Got that? So there's 9 points, energetic points, starting from the perineum up to the top of the head. There's 9 points up here, and those points correspond. This is something that I talk about it now like it's a fact, but it's one of those things that I discovered and went, oh my God, it's another one of those puzzle pieces that comes together. I talk to you about it as fact, but I don't know that anybody's come to this awareness. So patting myself on the back, I did. Now you can take it and do something with it. So you see how it is. So in the north, you have the perineum, which is the base of the body. And then you go up to Asgard, which is the top of the head. Then you go to the east, which is going to be the sacral chakra, the sexual organs. Then you're going to go to the unconscious mind, which, even though it's in the navel center, has association with the third eye. Okay. Then you're going to go to the south, which is the navel. Then you're going to go to this is going to freak you out if you're getting messed up about, wait, that's supposed to be down and he's going up. This is going to freak you out even more. Then you go to the southwest, is the mouth, which is hell home. It's the mouth. And then we go to west, which is the solar plexus. The solar plexus is right here. Drives me crazy. People think the solar plexus is the heart or the navel. Drives me crazy when people don't have precise knowledge of things. Solar plexus is right here where the ribs come up, just beneath the heart center. And then we go to the northwest, which is the throat. Why the throat? This is the realm of the teacher. This is the realm of the ascended masters who speak and teach you the truth. And then we go to the center, which is the ninth, and that's your heart, that is your soul, where everything comes together. So the north perineum, you say 1. It has begun. And then, so here's 1. Come here. 1. North perineum. You face north, touch the perineum. Sorry, let's just do this right. Touch perineum, and you say 1. It has begun. Let me copy that. And then we go to 2. We go all the way up to the top of the head. We go to the northeast direction. We touch crown. And we say 2. It shall come true. Northeast, the crown chakra, it shall come true. The highest vibrational ether essence, the direction of the planet Jupiter, which is highest spiritual knowledge. The word true, this is a good coincidence. Originally in English, as in other Indo-European languages, there were 2 words for truth. One meant the essence of truth, which is where we get sattva. You know, if you do any Vedic or Hindu work, you've heard of sattvic energy or sattva. And sattva is said to be the highest essence of, spiritual knowledge, but it means the essence of truth, truth in essence. And so it's a coincidence that we say to it shall come true. And in English, we used to have the word troth. And then you had sat, which was being. So we're using that word of true, which used to be sat, the essence of being. We called it sooth. In English, there was troth and sooth. Sooth is the pronunciation of sat, means the essence of truth, truth in essence. 2, it shall come true. And then 3, we go to the sacral chakra. Let's see, 1, 2, chakra, 3. So sexual center. We're now in the eastern realm, sexual center, and we say 3. It comes to me. Now, once again, I'm not making this spell up. I didn't make this spell up. This was a spell, an actual spell that was used in pre-Christian times in Anglo-Saxon realms. To our knowledge, it was used by women, I think, to bless their husbands who are out at sea doing whatever, making sure they come back safe. That's what I've heard. But we know that this spell was used, and it was used in a very elaborate way, putting together knots on a string, and those knots represent your intentions. and then you bury it, and then over time the thread disintegrates into the earth, meaning that your wishes become part of the fabric of the earth, the universe. I'm using it a little differently. I'm touching and stimulating the 9 points on the body. Let me get that picture up for you, by the way, before we go any further. Oh, look at me. You guys can't see me because I got that thing up. Let me get that picture. Where is that picture? Let me find it. There it is. And it is called, all right, that's called that. Let's put it up on the screen so you can see it. Where are we? Don't go there, please. Where are you? Come on. Come on. You're on my desktop. Where are you? Why? There it is. That's why, because it has a number in front of it. Okay, here it is. This is it's called the microcosmic orbit. I'm gonna show you a slightly different aspect of it here. So at the bottom there, you can see that guy sitting on a chair, and that black dot at the bottom, that is 1. 2 is all the way at the top. You see that, what looks like a little flame above his head, that's 2. Number 3, you go back down to that half dot, that is the sexual center. 4, let's see, where are we at? Number 3, east. 3, it comes to me. All right, so that's where we're at. 3 up here. Oh, sorry. That's 1, 2, 3, sexual center. 3, it comes to me. Again, very coincidental we have that verb to come at the sexual center. So that gives you an idea. These are really powerful symbolic tools that, coincidentally are coming together very well here. And then 4, we go to the southeast. Let me see, let's just do this. 4, we go to the, come on, man. Southeast, and you touch third eye, and you say 4. I open the door. Okay, so you're seeing that third eye here. So we've come to number 4, which is the third eye. So you got it? It's a sine wave. It starts at the root, goes to the top, goes to the sexual center, and now it's bounced up to the third eye. And it's with your third eye that you intend your reality. This is the door. The third eye, people think that the third eye is the doorway to see, second sight, or no. It is the doorway to your lower self. Goes down to your lower self. It's the doorway to your subconscious and your unconscious mind. This is why people can have an open third eye and be totally insane. This is why people who psychics. There are psychics who have the ability to tap into your unconscious mind and don't have a clue about what the future holds, but they think they do. And you think that they're psychic because they look at you and they get this feeling and they start telling you, things about yourself that nobody could possibly have known, and assuming that they're not doing some kind of parlor trick where they're reading you, which they can do. They're tapping into your unconscious mind through their third eye with their unconscious. Their unconscious mind and your unconscious mind are communicating, and it's going up. So the third eye is the doorway to the unconscious mind. It's not the doorway to infinity or true knowledge or any of that other garbage. We really need to grow up when it comes to all this stuff. So 4, you touch the third eye and you say, 4, I open the door. Then we go to 5. 4, I open the door. 5, we go to the south to the south, right? Yeah, we go to the south, and we touch the navel, and we say 5, it comes alive. And so that is in the navel center. So the navel center, if you're looking at this picture right here, the navel center is going to be across from there. Okay? So that's the navel. 5, it comes alive. And then we do 6. And we bounce up to, or we go to the southwest. We touch the lips or the mouth, and we say 6. My words are fixed. So on there, we don't see it here, but let me see. It is right there. You see that one on his back, that little fire thing on his back? That's actually directly connected to the mouth. There's a point right here on the mouth, just right up behind the teeth. If you touch the tongue to the roof of your mouth in Taoist meditation, it creates a circuit. That's what you see there. That microcosmic orbit is energy coming up and down the back. You can also do it the other way around, up the back and down the front. And it goes through all of those 9 points. So there's a point right there at the mouth where the tongue touches the roof of the mouth. That is the 6th point. And so you would touch your lips and you'd say, 6, my words are fixed. What does this have to do with the Southwest? What you say is recorded in the fabric of the universe. Donald Trump likes to say a lot of things, and when he has to retract them, he says, I was just kidding. I was being sarcastic. He doesn't know what the word sarcastic means. Sarcastic doesn't mean that you're kidding. Those are two different things. But when he says, I was just kidding, Obama is not the leader of ISIS. I was just being sarcastic. I was just kidding. Well, that's karma. When you make a statement about somebody, when you put a curse on somebody, when you say something positive, when you say, I love you, when you say, I'm going to be rich, when you complain because such and such isn't doing this and you never get this and you never get that. You notice how I'm not using the I? Because I don't want to create that. Because 6, my words are fixed. That's the Southwest, the karma, the orlog. You have to pay for what you say. The mouth has the ability to create reality. Now, when your 3 centers are lined up, the reason why many of you, including myself, might have difficulty speaking reality into existence is because your 3 centers haven't lined up yet. Your higher self, your lower self, and your middle self are not cooperating. When they're all 3 cooperating, one word. As I've shared with you before, I'll share it with you again. My partner who passed away, she once said to me as we were eating food at a restaurant, she says, you're not human. And I went, what are you talking about? I'm not human. She says, you have this ability to just make things happen that are impossible. And I was like, what are you talking about? She said, 2 weeks ago, we were sitting here at the same table and you were telling me about this, that, and the other thing, and you were complaining about this and that. And then you sat there and you said, okay, what I want is, and then you said what it is that you wanted, and you said, okay. And then you went on as though nothing ever happened. And now 2 weeks later, you have that exact thing, which was impossible to have. You're not human. That was a very kind thing for her to say. The reality is I am human. And so are all of you, and that is the ultimate ideal. We all have that ability. 6, my words are fixed. So when your 3 centers are aligned, and that's what I was doing when I was complaining, as she sat there and was watching me complain the first time around, and this, that, and I was complaining about whatever was wrong. I was out of alignment because I didn't know what I wanted. You want to align all three of your centers? Find out what it is that you want and go do it. That will align you. The universe is a universe of action. It's not a universe of sitting and thinking. Your words are actions. So if your positive affirmations, which are your words, are not manifesting in reality, it means that your mouth is not aligned with your three centers. So when I'm out of alignment, I'll know I'm out of alignment because I'll be upset and I'll be complaining about things in my life that at that moment seem out of my control, and I'm a victim of circumstance in that moment. And so what I do is I stop and I say, okay, what I want is, and I listen to myself and I think about what I want, and I go through the difficulty of, gosh, that's so selfish of me, or oh gosh, that's so egotistical of me, or oh, that's so unreasonable, or well, that could never happen. And I go, but that's what I want. I know it's not politically correct to want that, but I want that. That's fun for me. I want that. I want that. Once I can acknowledge that that's what I truly want, I state it so that I can, hear myself, and then I forget about it. Now, I had gotten in the habit of doing it. I didn't realize I was doing it. She pointed it out that I was doing it. That's why your words are fixed. So you will pay for your words. Nothing you can do about it. Words are a magical tool that your emotions and your intentions are connected to them, and they create reality. The only time they don't create reality is when you are not in alignment with yourself. Then your words fall flat. But you're still responsible for all the things that you say. If you say that Obama is the leader of ISIS, you're responsible for that karma. Just turning around and saying, I was just kidding, doesn't absolve you of what you said, because your words are fixed. If you tell somebody that is abusing you and causing you all kinds of damage, and you want to buy into their provocation, and instead you go deep within and you go past all that and you say something like, what you're doing is really hurting me, but I have to tell you, you're a really amazing person in this way. You're really good at doing this. You'll walk away. Of course, that'll mess. Anybody doing that will just be, because they're trying to provoke you into their nonsense. When you don't get provoked into their nonsense and you say something truthful about them that's positive, now your words are fixed. They're going to have to deal with that. They're going to have to make the decision of, he's right, I am really amazing in that way. And how do you then talk yourself out of being amazing? So that's the power of speech. Same thing that I do, and I just had it today on my other channel where, if somebody is acting insane and they're doing something that doesn't make any sense, which is what happens when you guys complain. When you guys are victims of circumstance and you complain, and I say something that, smacks you across the face and you think that I'm making fun of you, I'm not. I'm reflecting back to you the insanity of what you just said. And now you're responsible for those words, and hopefully you'll take them and go, yeah, I do want that. I do want to be happier, and this is, and I don't want to be a victim of circumstance. Like, those of you who believe that you live in a matrix and that there are evil beings masquerading as beings of light trying to keep you from your highest awareness, and you want to argue with me when I tell you you are God, you are infinite, and you can choose to have the life of your dreams. And when you get mad at me and say, how can you say that I chose this life when I have this, that, and all these other, how can, why are you arguing with me? I'm telling you, you don't have to be that way if you don't want. Why are you protecting it? You keep saying with your words. Now that I tell you that, and I make fun of your victimhood, now you have a choice. You can say, he's right. I want to be happier. I'm tired of being a victim. I'm going to take action on what frightens me. Or you can argue with me and keep telling me that you're a victim of circumstance, and then that's what's going to happen. Your words will be fixed, and you will continue to be a victim of circumstance. 7. Okay, so 7, we go to the west. And we touch the solar plexus, which again is right here where the ribs come up. See, can you see it when I do that? Yeah, right here, solar plexus, right there. So that would be, where would that be? That would be there. See that one? Go across that to his chest. That's the solar plexus. West, touch solar plexus, and you say 7 by the stars of heaven. Why do you say 7 by the stars of heaven? Because in the northern hemisphere at least, there is, I think they have one down here too. I think they have a Southern Cross down here. I haven't looked at it. Maybe it has 7 stars. The Big Dipper has 7 stars. The Big Dipper is a very powerful generator of intentions. And when you do the immortality meditation, which I've taught you in a few different ways, when you bring the Big Dipper over your head, you are now using a generator which will expand your intentions. So you touch the solar plexus, which creates your aura, which it's a projector of your aura. And you say 7 by the stars of heaven, by that powerful 7th star, the 7-star generator. 7 by the stars of heaven. And then you move to the 8th, which is 8 northwest. Then you touch the throat. You say 8 release. What happened here? 8 release my fate. So on this guy here, you don't, oh yes you do. So it's at the throat there, right? So it's right there. That's the throat. 8, release my fate. Again, that is the realm of the ascended masters, because when Kundalini is moving up, you get to the 8th and then the 9th chakra. By the time you get to the 9th chakra, you're no longer interested in this world anymore. This is the last stage of interest in this world. You're still in the world. I'm here. This is why I have to talk all the time. I have to talk about, this is where I'm at. And I'm trying to tell you, I'm not enlightened yet. When I'm enlightened, I won't need to talk anymore. When I don't have anything more to say, I will be closer to enlightenment. So this is the teacher on the mountaintop, and people come to him. When you are doing this, that is the guru on the mountaintop right here. This is the elves. The elves are here to teach you how to do it. You go do it. Here's your connection. Here's how this works. Go make it happen. 8, release my fate. That is in the northwest realm of the elves. And then we have only one place left to go, which is the center. And so that's the 9th realm, which is center. You touch the heart. And you say 9 it shall be mine. So, and that's right there. Right? There's the solar plexus right there. There's the heart right there. That's where you live. You live here, your soul. You're made up of three, you're a community of many beings, by the way. Each one of your cells has its own consciousness and life. And, that's why it's good to treat your body well and eat good food, because each one of your cells has its own life to live. And so if you go further on that, how is cancer created? Well, obviously there's enough self-directed negativity. It gets into the cells, and the cells take on that negativity and creates cancer, right? That's an oversimplification, but makes sense to me. What was I talking about? The heart. This is where you live. So you're a community. You have a higher self, which has its own purpose. It's there to give you advice when you ask. You have a lower self, which is an emotional being that is trying to make its way to becoming spiritual. It's a nature spirit that is full of emotion and full of earthly. It's moving its way from being just pure earthly vibrations to more of a spiritual, and so it's got its own destiny, which is to learn how to be a soul. That's why you and your unconscious mind have this connection. If your unconscious mind is out of whack, it's going to destroy your life. Your fate and the fate of your lower self are intertwined. That's why you must take control of your life. The way you do that is through the soul, through spirituality. You take control of your life through meditation and spiritual practice and spiritual discipline. That is what, the lower self is like a dog. Wonderful, beautiful companion, very kind, sweet, loving, playful. But if you do not become the alpha in that pack, that dog will become the alpha for you and will pee all over the couch and tear things up and bark at all hours of the night and will run you. And that's what happens if my life is a mess and you can't do this and you can't make that happen, and why can't I make any money? It's because your lower self is out of whack and you're not doing your job. You don't know how to do your job? That's what spiritual discipline is all about. So that the soul can be the king, because the soul is the king. So when somebody's life is out of whack, it means that, you're knocking on the the door of the west wing of the what is the room that the president sits in? The throne room. There's nobody there. Or the king is on the floor, playing tiddlywinks. And he should be sitting on the throne, controlling, making decisions. You got to start making some decisions from a spiritual perspective. This is why, if in doubt, you don't know what to do, ask yourself what you want, because your soul will tell you. Your soul knows what its dharma is, what its orlog is, what its path is. Your soul knows. If you don't know what your path is, it means that you've become confused between what your soul wants and what is in your head because of what other people have programmed you to do. I'm not making light of it. We all go through it. It's very challenging. But that's why. That's why it's so easy. That's why for my fiance, why she was, you're not human. No, I am human. That's what a human is supposed to do. Most humans don't, but that's what a human is supposed to do. What is it that I want? Oh, that's right. I want to do this. I want that. That's what's going to happen. Everything lines up. Your words become magical. But if you're running around trying to please mommy and daddy in your head, even though mommy and daddy are dead, they've been dead for 20 years, and you are still running around trying to be a good person and make money and make it on Wall Street, when what you really want to do is be a ballerina, then nothing's going to happen. It's nobody else's fault that you're not listening to your soul. All right, so those are the spell of the 9 knots. Imashtalao, in which direction do you recommend me change a belief? So it makes me want to ask you, have you read my books? Have you read the book, The Shamanic Secret Commandment to a Perfect Life? Have you watched those videos? You're shoving an assumption down my throat, which means that you have to face a certain direction to change a belief. I can hear the desperation. You typed in all caps. You only have to write the word question in all caps. You can write the rest of them in. So maybe that I didn't say that accurately. You don't have to do the whole thing in all caps, just the one word question. So I see it. But the assumption that you have to face a certain direction is your assumption. I never said that. I never said you have to face one direction to change a belief. You do all of them. So it's good to listen. Listen to all of what I'm going to tell you, because I'm giving you the recipe to change everything. And the answer is you face all directions. Follow this. If you haven't, you can go and watch the videos about the spell of the 9 knots. I've talked about it over and over again. Go search for it right now on my channel. Spell of the 9 knots. All right, so now we're going to get into it. All right, so those are you see those, so you got those 9 points in mind. You've got the bottom there, that's 1. Then you've got the sexual center, that's 2. Then you've got the navel, that's 3. The solar plexus is 4. I'm doing it out of order now. I'm doing it straight up and down. I'm not doing it in the order of the 9 knots. So that's 1. And then you've got the heart center is the next one. That's is that 6? And then you got the throat, which is 7. No, or is that 5? What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember that one? They don't have it. That's the mouth. And then 8, the third eye, and 9, the top. Those are the going from bottom to top. Those are the 9. But if we go in the direction of manifestation through the 9 worlds, then we have the mist home, 1, the perineum, Asgard, 2, the crown, giant home, 3, the sexual center, dwarf home, 4, the third eye, fire home, 5, the navel center, hell home, 6, the mouth, wind home, 7, the solar plexus, right? And then elf home, 8, the throat, and then 9th, the heart. Got that? That's what we're going to do when we're going in a clockwise fashion, starting from the north. We stimulate each one of those in a sine wave. And then by the time the energy bounces back and forth and gets to the center, that's when all the energy explodes. That's why it's a sine wave. It goes, right? Sine wave. You don't know what a sine wave is? SINEWAVE. Go look it up. Okay. Patrick Neal. What are you talking about? I do hit the gym. So you're either telling me that I have a good physique or you're trying to tell me I'm fat. Either way, man, that's not what we do here. We ask questions. So I'm going to put you in a timeout because that's distracting me. All right, let's move on. So we're going to do the spell of the 9 knots. And we're going to talk about how to transform, which is what Imashtalal was trying to ask. Which direction should I face to change a belief? And the answer to that question is all of the directions in a clockwise fashion. Right? So we're going to walk through that. So, in the north, you seek out any victim mentality within you. So you face north, and if you want, you can have, like a pen and a piece of paper, and you write down. You seek out victim mentality within you. What victim mentality are you holding on to? Right now, what's his name? Patrick, whatever the hell his name, pushed on mine, because now I'm thinking he thinks I'm fat. That's my victim mentality. So in the north, you seek that out. The second, you go to the northeast. You reprogram your mind to the original relationship to your soul and the universe. So the northeast is the realm of the highest heavens, the highest vibration of the heavens. That is the realm of the northeast. And in the realm of the northeast, that shows you the purity of your spiritual essence. So you have a soul. You are also an os, which is singular. Aesir is plural. You're a deity. You're a god. You are a celestial god encased in human flesh. So as a celestial being encased in human flesh, you use that essence, which is the essence of your soul, to reprogram your mind to the original relationship that your soul has to the universe. This is why the gods are so inspiring. You know, this is what the Abrahamic tradition was trying to get at, I think, in a really bad way. Moses, is looking at a burning bush. How a burning bush? But the fire of the celestial deity within your heart. That's why the realm of the northeast in the Vedic tradition is where you place the altar. And in the Taoist tradition, the northeast is also the realm of the highest vibration, but it is also a ghost door or a demon door. So there are two demon doors, according to Taoism. One is the northeast, which is Asgard. Can you guess where the other one is? Directly opposite it in the southeast, in Helheim. There's a connection between those two. So in order to protect yourself from your unconscious demons, you put an altar in the northeast. Now, if you've noticed, who are some of the most destructive, judgmental, racist, abusive people? Religious people. And what are religious people? They are all about the gods. So in the heathen tradition, the neo-heathen tradition, you'll find the folkish, which are the racists. I mean, a lot of people who call themselves folkish don't consciously believe they're racist, but the word folkish was invented by Himmler, I believe, for the Nazis. It's a Nazi phrase of white people only. That's what it means. I wish people would just stop using it. Of course, the world doesn't go by what I want, but that's why you have those right-leaning, folkish, exclusive neo-heathens who think that only white people should pray to Thor, who is actually Indra, another name for Indra, and Thor is another name for Indra, and Indra is another name for Thor. It's the same god. Sorry, guys. But the reason why they're pro, on the far right, and why they're exclusive and why they're judgmental and all, is because on a soul level, they're trying to work through their issues. And what does everybody in the world do? We project our unconscious issues on everybody else. So they have their unconscious, unresolved issues, and so they're seeking out the purest truth that they can, and because they themselves have not worked through all of their stuff, they use that religion to project their unresolved fears and self-directed negativity. Because the truth is, a racist is a frightened person. A racist is somebody who hates themselves. And so they can't stand their own fear and their own self-hatred, so they project it on something that is different from them. And they classify that difference as being bad in some way. So they should be worshiping the celestial gods because the celestial gods will purify them Maybe not in this lifetime, but in one of these lifetimes. And so you put an altar in the northeast because the northeast protects you from the demon of self-righteousness. That's why the Vedics say you put the altar in the northeast. And that's also why the Taoists call it a demon door, because the demon of false, superiority will come from being hyper-religious. And so the other demon door is the opposite of that, which is hellhome. So hellhome is obviously the unconscious mind. And in the unconscious mind, you have all of your unresolved issues, which you project onto other people. So that is the other demon door. So when you're facing northeast and you've got an altar there, the altar, and you call the gods down, you're putting a lid on top of your unconscious so that your unconscious garbage stays where it belongs in your unconscious and doesn't manifest as demons in your life. Do you see how this stuff comes together? I'm not making this stuff up. All I'm doing is I'm looking at it and putting the puzzle pieces together. I didn't make this stuff up. Where are we going next? So that is what you do in the north, is you look for any victim mentality. Again, how do you use the directions for self-transformation? Imashta Lao was asking how to change a belief. This is what he's asking. He's asking me to teach him exactly this. So you face north and you meditate on what are your victim mentality. Again, we're talking about the racists, the guys that are in the northeast. Their victim mentality is those people, whoever they are taking my job. They took our job. That's their victim mentality. They, on the one hand, want to say, freedom and constitution and all that, but then they don't want to pay their taxes. And then they don't have the ability to make their own jobs or make their own business because they're weak. So they have to work for somebody else, and they don't want to acknowledge that they can't do anything for themselves. So they get mad at those other people who are taking their jobs. Really? If you're so put together and you're so superior, why can't you create your own business? Why do you need to be, why do you need to dig coal? I mean, if you want to dig coal for a job, go ahead, but why complain about it? You don't like it? Do something else. They're taking our jobs. So do something else. Come on, you're superior, create your own business. Right? You got me? So in the Northeast, what did I say about the Northeast? You then reprogram your mind to the original relationship of your soul to the universe, which is that you are infinite. You are all powerful. And because of that, you have the power to manifest your true soul desire. And so you can have hope for the future, because the Northeast is the direction of hope for the future. And so what inspires you to go forward and create a life is your connection to your soul desire. You think what you want is somebody to, let you be one of the union members of the coal miners union of such and such, and you just want to have that job so you can have your double wide, and you don't want anybody else taking away your measly little whatever it is. I mean, if you want to live that way, that's fine. See what I mean? Your soul says, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. I want to live on the beach and surf. And I want to write books. Nobody's written these kinds of books. Who's going to want to listen to that? My soul says, this is what makes me happy. I'm going to go do it. So that's reprogramming your mind to your original relationship to your soul and your relationship of the soul to the universe. Then we go to 3, which is the East, which is the realm of the giants. It's also the realm of the half-giant gods, which are the gods of thunder. And what is thunder? Thunder is cleansing and transformation. What do we say when after a thunderstorm goes through, we can smell. We can smell how clean and fresh the air is, because the air is alive with all with the negative ions, because the lightning and the rain and the thunder is has purified the air. It smells like, what are those air freshener things? I forget what they're called. I forget what that gas is. It creates a gas. We smell that gas and it smells like clean and fresh because that's the power of thunder. So who is Thor? Thor is the god of protection. He is the god that protects. That's why I always wear him. He is the god who protects the boundaries of human beings, which is why it's so ironic when racists put this on there, because they're actually condemning themselves. Because this is a symbol of equality and protection for everybody, so that not only you get to have your job, but those other people, for some arbitrary reason you think are different from you, guess what? They get to have a job too. So Thor protects people's boundaries. And this is the East. And so here you find out your identity. This is where we go clockwise. And here we manifest in physical form and create an identity. So the difference between me and you. And how do we cooperate and still be separate entities? So the only way to know in Asgard what your soul wants is to know who you are. And where you stop and other people begin. And where that's their business and that's my business. And that's not my business to do that for you. My business is to do this for me and my soul. This is what happens in the East. So what did I say? In the East, you clean out your aura. This is why the Thor's hammer is a Qigong exercise. You don't know what that is? Go onto my channel. Go onto my YouTube channel and look for Thor's hammer Qigong. And if you want, you can do that facing the East. Because when you face the East, you are tapping into the realm of boundaries, the realm of identity, the realm of thunder and lightning, which the reason why Thor is off in the East fighting the giants, because the home of the giants is in the East, which is where? The identity. So when your identity is out of whack, then you don't have any empathy for anybody else. And you steal from other people and you take from other people, and or you let people stomp all over you, like the giants stomp all over you and stomp on your house and pick up your son and bite his head off and chew it like it's a piece of beef jerky. That's because they don't have any boundaries and you don't have any boundaries. So Thor is out there giving you boundaries so that you can fight against the oppressors. You can fight against the people who don't have boundaries and want to destroy yours. And you can fight against the passive-aggressive within yourself that says, I give to everybody and nobody gives back to me. I never ask for anything and I don't have any time. And you have fibromyalgia and you have all kinds of other things going on because you don't have any boundaries. And you let everybody come in and you pretend to give yourself away to other people when in reality you desperately want them to love you and you're willing to do whatever the hell it takes, and you give and you give and you give. But I'm an unconditional giver, when in reality, on an unconscious level, you are holding them accountable for every single cookie that you've given them and every good thing you've given them. And you've got a list on an unconscious. And when it finally, they haven't given back to you and it bursts in, then you say my favorite phrase, I never asked for anything. But in this... No, you're asking for something all the time. You just don't have the guts to be honest about it. Pull up your nutsack or pull up your sports bra and own what you want and let people have the right to give it to you or not. I'm a woman who loves too much. I always pick the bad guys because I love too much. No, you don't love too much. You don't own what you want. Because if you did, you would say, like I remember when I was in my 30s and I was dating girls who were also in their 30s, and there was at least two, there might have been more, but I remember having a second date twice, and one was shaking. She was like, I really like you, and I really want to date you, but my my timer's going off, my clock is going off, and I need to know if you're going to have kids. And if you're not going to have kids, I can't be with you. I'm going to find somebody I can have kids with. I appreciated that. She was standing up for her boundaries. I totally, completely respected it. Of course, I didn't. I said no, because I don't want to have kids, because as much as I want to date you and you're really hot and sexy and that would be a lot of fun, I don't want to have kids, so I'm not going to take that on. So I'm sad to see you go. We would have had a great time, but take care. Bye-bye. So you got to own what you want. And everybody has the right to say no. That's the East. Clean out your aura. Mind your own business. Stand up for what you want. Those two phrases are not mutually exclusive. Mind your own business and stand up for what you want. All right. Moving to the Southeast in the dwarf home. So in the East, you clean out your aura. In the Southeast, you awaken to your orlog. Your orlog. Orlog comes from two words. Or, log. Origin, law. People throw out the word karma and dharma and don't understand the difference. Karma is the result of your actions and words and intentions. And dharma is the pre-existing eternal path that your soul wants to follow. In my tradition, you have weird, which would be another word for karma, although not exact, and orlog, which would be the same as dharma or destiny. People get that mixed up. People call weird destiny. It's not. Weird is karma. Orlog is dharma. Actually, weird is both, but for simplicity's sake, you can break them up that way. All right, so we're there now at understand your, so awaken your orlog. And I also have here, I should have here meditation, because the Southeast is the realm of the human mind. So dwarves are meditators. Dwarves are manifestors. So the way to awaken to your orlog is through meditation. And there are millions of ways to meditate. I prefer active meditation like mantra and qigong. I do not do well sitting and trying to empty my mind. That doesn't work. My mind is too fast and is always thinking about something. The result of meditation is you have an empty mind. So if you're one of those people like me that says, I can't meditate. Why? Well, because I can't empty my mind. Well, you're not supposed to empty your mind. You do something that will result in your mind calming itself down. So mantra, qigong, tai chi, spell work, surfing, I don't know, walking in the forest. Those are all active forms of meditation that will bring you to a place of neutrality. So the way to awaken to your truest, highest path in the Southeast is by doing meditation. Number 5, down in the South, understand your soul purpose. So really the South is about, I've got written down here, understand your soul purpose. What I really should say is act on your soul purpose, because the South is the realm of fire, which is the realm of action. You cannot take action if you don't know who you are. There's a lot of people who take action and they're just causing destruction. They're causing entropy. So the South is the realm of the fires of entropy, the demon Surt. It's the planet Mars, which is destruction and warfare. But it's also purification and action and following the truth and destroying negativity. So it depends on where you are. If you don't know who you are, then you are creating destruction everywhere you go. You are entropy. You can't avoid it. If you know who you are, if you've gone and done the third direction well, and you have identified who you are, and you've cleaned out your aura, and you know what your soul desire is and what it is, then by the time you get to the south, you can take action on that. In the southeast, you meditate. You become more clear on what your soul desire is. You meditate on it, and then in the south, you take action. We live in a universe that responds to action. The meditation part, meditating on your intentions, is extremely important, but it's only half of it. Now, if you are completely aligned, it is true that you can say to yourself, what I want is this. And then you can meditate on, get clear on what you want, and then leave it alone, because it'll happen. But what it means is that you will just take action. You won't have to think about it. You won't have to force yourself. You'll just take the actions necessary to make it happen. Like here today, I'm here doing a video because I wanted to. I'm taking action on my business, which is part of my soul desire. If I don't do my business, I don't make money, which means I can't surf. So in order for me to live my soul desire, which is to surf, I have to do my business, but I'm doing what I would do anyway. I'm taking action in alignment with my soul, which means that just by doing this video, people are going to buy stuff, and I'm going to end up with money, and I'll be able to pay my rent and buy that new surfboard. It's just the way it works. But if you're not connected, you're just creating entropy with all of your actions. Number 6 in the southwest. So here we, what's the word I want to use? We transform our karmic challenges. So let's talk about karma. People talk about karma, and when they do, it's always negative. Karma, dude. If there's a tip jar, karma. In other words, if you don't put a tip in the jar, it's going to be bad karma. Karma is not bad. Karma is not good. Karma is simply the result of your actions. I have a bottle full of really good juice, and so if I want the benefits of vitamin C and tasty other good stuff, the karma of that will be that I've now put some vitamin C in my body. That's a good thing. The negative karma is if I drink that whole bottle, then I will have drank pure fruit juice, which has a lot of sugar in it, which will put some fat on me, which will make me insecure. When somebody says you should go to the gym, I'm thinking that they're telling me I'm fat. So that's the karma of drinking too much. But the positive karma of taking a sip every now and then is that I get some good vitamin C and give myself something that tastes good and is good for me. But if you want to work through your issues, you have to be willing to bring what is in the unconscious to the conscious. Jung, the psychologist Jung, said, I don't know the exact quote, but he said, if you do not become conscious of what is unconscious, you will think it is God's will. You'll think it's fate. That's the same as saying you've got a victim mentality. You think that you are sorry, I got distracted. What was I saying? I got distracted. My ego distracted me. Whatever the hell I said, it was really profound. So now gasp and put your hand over your mouth because of how profound it was. So in the Southeast, we transform our karmic challenges. These are things you've created yourself. You can't blame anybody else for what you've created. You can't do it. It's not possible to blame people for what you've done. It is true that you were born into a situation that we can't, in the context of the moment that you were conceived and born, we can't blame you for the parents that you ended up with. People say you can't choose your family. Well, from the physical perspective, that is self-evident. But from my experience, if you want to have complete control over your life, you have to take responsibility for everything. That means that it serves you to decide that you chose your parents. That puts you in a position of power, because if you've chosen your parents, then whatever abuse they heaped on you, the only way to interact with that, because if you feel sorry for yourself, you can't feel sorry for yourself on the one hand and say, I chose my parents on the other. So you have to pick one. Either you're a victim, and for reasons beyond your control, you were forced to deal with these horrible people who made you this, that, and the other thing. I say that, and I'm talking about it as though I'm talking about it cavalierly, but I don't mean it cavalierly at all. I have 2 siblings who have never, ever gotten over what we went through as kids. And it's really tragic. To the best of my knowledge, if my brother's still alive, he's homeless. And he's homeless and refuses to get help. He could be living off of government subsidies, and he could be, he'd have the medication that he needed, and he'd be living, right now, playing video games or watching television and not having a care in the world. But he chose to be homeless. We grew up in the same house. He had the same opportunities as me. And it's because of what, he was born in a family with some really unconscious, destructive parents. And he's been a victim his whole life. That's why he is where he is. In fact, if you give him the means to make his life better, he will want to beat you up. He has so much resistance to having, a decent life. So I had the same parents, and not only did I have those same parents, but I had him, incredibly abusive older brother, 5 years older than me, and was, used to beat the crap out of me and used to psychologically abuse me, and it was horrible. I mean, it's amazing I survived. But I took responsibility. I chose to accept that I chose those parents, and I chose him as a brother. And I tell you what, he's the best teacher I've ever had. Because whenever I'm in a state of victim mentality, or I'm afraid, or I'm in pain, I stop and I ask, what would my brother do? And I know exactly how he thinks, because I used to listen to him go on and on and on and on and on. And I used to do similar kinds of thinking because I had the same parents. And I can sit and I can imagine him, and I would ask him, what would you do if you were me? And I listen to what he'd say, and then I listen very carefully, and I do the exact opposite. And it served me. It's the most frightening thing I've ever done. Most frightening thing. To do the opposite of what my brother tells me I should do. And it served me. So you take control. Whatever scenario you've been born in, you chose that. Because if you didn't, then you're a helpless victim. And there's nothing to be said. There's no point even complaining. Because complaining means you want to change things. But if you're a helpless victim, what's the point in complaining? Right? So that's 6. What did I say for number 6 again? The Southwest. Understand your karmic challenges. Number 7. Number 7 is to live your gift. I use the word gift because by the time you get to 7, when you get to the West, you've worked through your self-centered karmic narcissism, whatever that is, and now you're reborn, because when you go through the underworld, what happens? You get reborn, you get a new life. Now you've chosen the challenges that you've brought to that life, but you've also chosen your gift. And in Vedic astrology, we have something that's called the Arutha Lagna. So let's write about that for a second. Arudha Lagna. So go watch my videos about the Arudha Lagna. We all have a gift. We all have a superpower that we've been given. I've been given one. And some of you are going to enjoy your Aruda. If you get a reading from me or one of my apprentices, you can go to astrology.thunderwizard.com. You get a reading, and you will get in that reading, you will get your Arudha Lagna, which is your superpower. But if you don't know what your superpower is, and it's got a karmic lesson in it, then you're going to be struggling with it. If you like your Aruda, you're going to go, oh yeah, I do that already anyway. And then you'll know how to be successful. The Aruda Lagna will tell you how you're going to make money in the world, how you're going to be successful. But it's the role that you play. It's not who you are. So most of us, we want people to love us for who we are. I just wish somebody would love me for who I am. Well, it doesn't work that way. Nobody loves you for who you are. They love you for what you do for them. Sorry, that's just the way it works. The only person in the universe who's capable of loving somebody for who they are is a mother. And that's if the mother is conscious and healthy. Mothers are the only ones that have that kind of love. That's why Hela, the goddess Hela, has the most love in the universe, because she'll let you create your hell and won't stop you. She'll sit there with you, hold your hand, and watch you do it. She won't try and talk you out of your feelings or talk you out of your self-guilt or your self-hatred. And when you're ready and you wipe your tears and you're ready to move on, she'll be there. And you'll say, Mama, what do I do next? I get misty when I think about it. She'll say, oh, you ready? Are you done beating yourself up? I still love you. Let's do this. Why don't you try doing that? Next time, let's try this. So the Aruda Lagna is your superpower. So for some people, their Aruda Lagna is bad on paper. Like your Aruda Lagna is the con man. Some people might be a con man. So the way to make that work for you is, instead of trying to hide the fact that you're a con man, I mean, you are, it's just you're good at it. You're a natural born salesman. You can sell the Brooklyn Bridge to anybody. You can sell ice cubes and a freezer to an Eskimo. That's just your power in this world. That's what you have. Instead of trying to hide it, because if you hide it, then you're going to unconsciously be lying to people and cheating them, and people aren't going to trust you because you're pretending to be this honest person because you feel bad. You say, I don't want to be, a con man. That's a bad thing. And but people see it in you. But if one day you decide to go, you know what, this is my strength, and you show up wearing all black with a hood, and you paint your eyes black, and you wear a necklace of skulls, and you walk into the room, and people say, oh my God, what is going on with that guy? And you say, yeah, you better watch out, because I'll steal the underwear right off you if you're not careful. I am a con man. That guy, he's really just so tricky. But hey, we need a salesman. Would you like to be head of sales? It's a good thing if you own it. We've talked about Maya Ruda before. Maya Ruda is which my friend here, what's his name? I forgot. What's his name? Patrick Neal. Patrick Neal was seeing Maya Ruda because I do go to the gym. I lift hard. A 57-year-old man. I can lift more than most guys half my age. That's because Maya Ruda is the spiritual warrior. I didn't like that. Like I said, I had a bully for an older brother. I did not like that at all. And I didn't like bullies. So, and everybody sees the warrior in me. It doesn't matter if I'm 145 pounds or like I am 200 pounds. Doesn't matter how much I weigh. I still scare people. They still think I'm going to kick their ass. I mean, there have been guys who've been like, in the octagon, master fighters, and, and we start talking about sparring, and I pretend like I'm going to square off, and they get scared. That's my Aruda. So instead of hiding it, which is if I do hide it, now what do I look like? From my perspective, I'm trying to look unassuming. But I end up looking like a serial killer. I remember one time I was in Hollywood. I had a theater company in Hollywood that I had co-founded. Back then, this was back in 1990 something. Hollywood was a dangerous place. Maybe it still is. And I was walking down the street, and across the street, 3 big-ass gang members with boom boxes, and they were stopping traffic. Like stopping like a 4-lane and intimidating cars as they're, and my instinct says, walk across the street now, get on the other side of the street. And I, being the idiot that I am, I said, no, I have the right to do whatever the hell I want. This is America. Stupid. So sure enough, I'm walking down, those guys meet me and they surround me. And I had my little fanny pack, which, by the way, here in Australia, the word fanny means something else. It doesn't mean what it means in the U.S. It's an embarrassing word. But I was wearing my fanny pack, and of course you have your wallet and your money in your fanny pack, and these guys surround me and they start saying, give me $1. And we start going back and forth. Give me $1. I'm not going to give you $1. Give me $1. No. Give me $1. No. I realized this isn't going anywhere good fast. And I'm starting to get scared. And the moment I reach in to give that guy $1, my whole everything is gone, right? Everything is gone. I know that. So I have a little PTSD from my older brother who used to beat the crap out of me. So I hadn't worked through all of that yet. And so I started to get scared. And what I intended to say to the guy was, the 2 other guys, there's one behind me, another guy there. They've got me surrounded. They're bigger than me. And they're nasty and scary with, prison tats and all kinds of other stuff. And I try to say, come on, man, don't hurt me. And what came out was, come on, man. and he went, you don't have $1? No, I don't have $1. All right, well then get out of here. And then he gave me this half-assed push, like he barely touched me, because he knew if he really pushed me, I was gonna. Because what I didn't tell you is I had a little PTSD, and what used to go on in the back of my mind when that happened 2 or 3 times in my life is I decided I was gonna kill him. I said, I don't care. These guys are bigger than me. They're gonna kill me. I'm gonna kill them first. And I'm gonna bite his throat and pull out I'm gonna stick my fingers so far back in his eyeball socket. I was just, and obviously when you get that way, people can see it. That is my Aruda being suppressed. So when I suppress my Aruda, I turn into a serial killer. It's a bad thing. So it's uncomfortable for me to wear sleeveless shirts and do all that and shave my head and walk around and puff my chest out. It's not my normal thing because my false pride says be sweet and kind and be submissive and but that's no matter what I do, I come across as a warrior. I can't help it. Whatever yours is, whether you have a karmic issue with it or not, that is your strength. It's not who you are. I'm actually a very sweet, loving guy. I really am. I know that you don't see that because I'm playing my Aruda when I come on here. When I'm pointing my finger at you and telling you how full of crap you are and all that, that's me doing my Aruda. That's my spiritual warrior. That's not who I am. So you have to be comfortable not being who you think you are and being what you're here to give to the world. So give your gift to the world facing the West. Now that we've made it to the West, you face the West and you give your gift to the world, which has nothing to do with your satisfaction or your ego. It's got nothing to do with your ego. Now for me, when I want to make money, I show up as my Aruda, which means I show up here and I do these videos and I point my finger at people and I tell people, how full of crap they are and all that, and I do all that stuff and puff my chest out. That's what I do. I'm not comfortable with it, but it's not about being comfortable. It's about doing my job. That's my job. Meaning that's the role the universe has said. The universe has said, oh, you're in this movie called life. Here's your costume. It's called the spiritual warrior. But I'm not a spiritual warrior. I don't give a crap. The cast list here says Michael William Denney, spiritual warrior. There's your costume. Go wear it. Call time is in 10 minutes. Do you know your lines? Get the hell, go do your job. I don't care if you don't feel like doing it. We got it. We're on a time clock here. You have one. What is your costume? Give your gift to the world. Give the gift that the world wants and needs from you, not what you need to show them. Where are we at next? Number 8 in the Northwest. This is an interesting one. I say, think in multiple lives. So the Northwest is the realm of the ascended masters. The humans who have gone through all of their lives on earth and played out all of their desires, and they've perfected that, and then they went on to Valhalla, and they were angels that fought for the protection of human beings, and they did whatever else they did. Maybe they went to Folkvang, which is Freja's home of the people who've died in battle, which means you've lived fearlessly, you've gotten all of your desires in this world and were willing to die for your own happiness and satisfaction. And then you got taken to Folkvang, and then you were a guardian angel or a healing angel, and you help people, and you move through all that. And then what's left? Then you go to the elf home. You become an ascended master. You become a bodhisattva. And you sit on the edge of infinity going, wow, man, that looks really trippy. And you go, but there are people back there and they're struggling. I get a lot of emotion when I say that. It tells me I'm hitting something. They really want to go into that void of pure bliss, but they still have one bit of karmic attachment left, which is you. They care about you, the elves. You know, we're in a period right now where this is really important. Now, I'm here in Australia, so I'm not having to see all the stuff that's happening, which I have to say I'm really grateful to see. All of the protests, it's not going away. I'm so grateful that it's not getting shoved under the rug. You know, I grew up in the 70s. And in the 70s and the 60s and 70s, everything was going to change. And the hippies were going to bring love and understanding. And I actually remember thinking, I'm so glad we're over all that stuff. We're done with the racist stuff. Now we can be just human beings and we can get on and love each other. And I really believed it wasn't going to come back. And then came the 80s. And then came the 90s. And then came Rodney King. I was there for that. And I had a theater in Hollywood, as I told you. And Rodney King happened during that. And we were busy. We were in the theater. We were rehearsing and building sets. And we had no idea. We weren't listening to the radio or watching television. We were just busting our ass. We had a play to put on. And somebody walked in and said, we need to go. Everybody needs to get in their car and go. Like, what do you mean? Why? Just trust me. We need to lock up and go. Reginald Denney, same last name as me. You remember that guy? Actually, my sister's ex-husband, my ex-brother-in-law, knew him. Guy never recovered from that. Guy was just doing his job. Just driving down the street in his truck. Horrible. I mean, it really just tears me up. All of it, both sides of it. And I remember picking my way back home. I remember driving through Hollywood trying to get back to West LA, and I'm having to look because there's a fire over here and holy crap, and I'm having to pick my way through all of the rioting so I can get back home in one piece. And thinking, okay, finally people will wake up now. Finally we can stop this garbage. And then, here I am in my 50s, watching on television, watching people in these racist, doing these marches, these racist KKK marches, and I can't believe what I'm seeing. How is this still with us? So I'm grateful to see it's not getting swept under the rug. We're going to have to find a balance in there, but we have to overcompensate. We always have to overcompensate. The pendulum swings and you overcompensate, and eventually we get to the middle. What does this have to do with the elves? Because the elves say, think in multiple lives. What you do, what you say, the actions that you take, the beliefs that you hold, have an effect on everybody. And there's one argument that doesn't get brought into this argument. We take this understanding of equality and the discussion of equality, and we make it political. And we make it about free speech. One person asked me, I can't remember the exact question, but the one person asked me something about that. And I don't remember what it was, but my response was, because it hurts. What do you mean? Why, somebody asked me, what is the spiritual reason for not, I forget the word I'm looking for, saying crappy things about people or excluding people. What is the spiritual reason? I mean, who needs a spiritual reason? It hurts. You want free speech? Okay. But it hurts. And not just hurts when you say negative things, it hurts when you're not given the ability to have everything that you deserve. That hurts. And why do you want to cause pain over your right to have free speech? So that's about as political as I'm going to get with that. But that's what the elves want us to understand. Everything you say and do, positive or negative, has an effect on every single molecule of the universe. And that's what is meant when the elves say, think in multiple lives. I know for a fact I've been other things. I've relived past lives. I know I've been other ethnicities and other cultures. There's a reason why I am a master of Yoruba shamanic drumming. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why I became a master of Qigong. There's a reason for that. I have past life in both of those nations. And so when I think about people, I always want to be thinking about that is my family member, whoever they are. I don't have a connection, as you know. I mean, most of my family is dead or gone. I don't have any connection to my nuclear family because they haven't earned it. The people who have earned it are the people who have treated me like family. And they're from all different backgrounds. But those are my family. And that is the truth of all of us. Everybody is your family. Everybody. And more importantly than that, the elves want you to know that everybody is you. You are everybody. This is why it's so important to understand that everything is projection. And if you don't know what projection is, go Google psychological projection. Everything is projection. If you love everybody, it's because you love yourself. If you hate anybody, it's because you hate yourself. Whatever you say about other people is how you feel about yourself. No way around that. And if we can understand that, then we will eventually get to where the elves are. And that's what the elves are saying. They're looking at infinity. And they want to merge with infinity. They yearn to go back to that infinity and be that. And they remember the challenges, and they turn back and they face us. And they sit there and wait for us to ask for help. Because they never impose on it, because they know, they've gone past the throat, which is where I'm at. They've gotten past the throat chakra. And they know that, you're just going to have to figure it out on your own. But the moment that you ask for help, you say, what can I do to better myself, to better my life? They're right there. And they'll say, when you said this yesterday? Remember when you did that? Well, when you did that, you went to the next level and you helped this guy 1,000,000 miles away because that vibrated to his level and he woke up. And he saw a part of himself that he hadn't seen before. Remember when you said that one thing? Remember when you did that really self-destructive act? You said, I'm not hurting anybody, this is just me. Well, you damaged a part of yourself, which vibrated out and damaged some other people. This is the message of the elves. Think in multiple lives, not just your life, but every life. Every molecule in the universe is you. All right, I'll get off my high horse now. And then finally we get to number 9, which is the center, which is your soul. When you've gone through all of these previous 8 manifestations or whatever I'm talking about. So 1 in the north, you seek out any victim mentality within you. And then in the northeast, you reprogram your mind to its original relationship to your soul and the universe. And in the east, you clean out your aura, you mind your own business and stand up for your rights. And in the southeast, you awaken to your aura log through meditation. In the south, you take action on your soul purpose. In the southwest, you come to understand your karmic challenges and take responsibility. And in the west, you live your gift. You live your Aruda and put your ego aside and give people what they need, not how you want them to see you. And then in the northeast, you think in multiple lives. And then the gift of that in 9 is you transform, you ascend to the next level. This is another way to use the power of the 8-sided thunder wheel. Okay? All right, so I'm done. I'm done babbling. So, let's see here. Okay. So now, if you have any questions, I'll answer them. As you know, if you don't have any questions, then I gotta sell you stuff. How many people do we got on here? 21 people. Let me refresh the page here. See what's going on. We have 21 people. All right, so I'm going to once again share with you something that is changing. And if you want to support this channel, you want to keep me coming on live and doing more and more videos, you can go to thunderwizard.com and support. And my friend is going to tell you all about that right now. Hey there, this is Arnold. Take my money now. Hey there, this is Arnold Swears He's Bigger, and I want to give you $400 just to go and subscribe to the thunderwizard.com Patreon subscription channel. Listen to me now and go subscribe to me later. I'm telling you something. Listen to me. Put down that Snickers bar, you're getting too lumpy. You have to put down the weights, you have to rest in between sets. What's wrong with you? And you right there, stop watching reality television. Listen to me now. I want to tell you something very important. you're going to go to thunderwizard.com and you're going to subscribe. You've been saying to yourself, I love this Thunder Wizard guy. I really want to get into the subscriptions, but I need $400. I'm going to give you $400 because if you go and subscribe for a year, you're going to get 2 months for free. At some of the higher levels, that's $400. If you're at the really high levels, that's a lot more than that. But at the very least, you're going to save yourself $50, $100, $200, $400. Come on. What's wrong with you? This is your time now to take action, to do something important with your life. You've been wanting to subscribe even more. Now you get to subscribe for a year. Go there, thunderwizard.com. Okay, I'm done. Go subscribe. Seriously. Stop watching. Hit stop. Do something with your life. Go subscribe right now. I'm telling you, it's very important. Take my money. Now. Okie dokie. I think we have one question that's popped up here. Lizvet A, do me a favor. Here's how this works. Question and answer. Today it's not a big deal, but sometimes there's a bunch of people with a bunch of comments. Write the word question in all caps. And then in regular script, write your full question in a full sentence that has a context and makes sense. And I want you to do that so I don't miss your question. And I want you to ask your question fully so that I understand your question so that I can help you the best. You say, what to do with Aruda Lugna in Pisces? That's not nearly enough information. So I don't do readings here on the live. You can get a reading, but Aruda Lugna in Pisces. What planet? What house? What's aspecting it? Those are the things that I need, and you'd have to, get a reading for me to take a look at that. So I'm not gonna give you an Aruda Lugna reading here today, but you need to have all that information, not just Pisces. It needs to be more than that. What house, what planets are in there, all that kind of stuff. Ron C. question. Which Patreon subscription is monthly, every month, and which one is a one-time fee? That is going to be there. If you go, have you gone to the site? Go to thunderwizard.com and you will see, well, let me go look at it. Because to be honest, I don't know that I've seen it. So let's go and take a look. So patreon.com or thunderwizard.com, and let me see, I have to look at it from your perspective, not mine. View my public page. Yes, public page, please. So it says select a membership level, and then it has the different levels, and then show all 8 levels here. All right, so when you get there, you'll see select a membership level. So for instance, the first one, Masterclass Initiate in Thunder Wizardry, $25 per month, join. And then directly under join, it says, or save 16% if you pay annually. All right, so 2 most important things in life, pay attention and put effort. So I appreciate that you put the effort in to ask a question, but had you gone, put the effort in to go to the site and then paid attention, it would be right there for you to see. But anyway, it was a good opportunity. Now I know. It's right there. You'll be able to figure out exactly where you want to go, and you can look through all of the different, there's only one that's sold out, which is the first level Thunder Wizard Apprentice, and the rest are not sold out. So as little as $25 a month, or let me see. So you'll save $50 if you sign up for a year. And it's very unlikely that you'll get through all those videos, even on that level, just that one level in 1 year. Okay, what else? Vincent.thunderwizard.com. Okay, so he says, get a reading from me. See, very good. Vincent is one of my astrology. Oh, I have to give you another. I forgot where it is. Vincent is one of my astrology apprentices, and he will give you a reading. He's been trained and certified by me, so you can go to vincent.thunderwizard.com, which this Vincent.thunderwizard.com. You can go to his website there. What you'll see is what I offer people in the lockdown package. One of the things you get in the lockdown package is if you get, you'll get the certification program in Vedic astrology, and if you choose to get certified by me, I don't even charge you for this. I don't charge Vincent anything, but I give him 2 websites. I give him his own website, which Vincent.thunderwizard.com, which he can put whatever things he wants on there. If he gives me the links, I'll put anything on there on his website, and you can just put it on a business card and say, "Oh, I do Vedic readings and stuff that I don't teach, and Reiki healings, and here's my website. Here's my business card. Go to Vincent.thunderwizard.com," or whatever your name is. I don't even charge for that. I don't charge any maintenance fees or any of that kind of stuff. So go check that out at lockdown.thunderwizard.com, which is coming to an end, by the way. I'm going to start breaking that down because I'm working on a 30-day complete transformation. It's not a package. I'm going to put on video. You're going to do with me. I have a morning routine that I'm going to take you through, which will include ritual, yoga, mantra, and then I have a noontime practice, and then I have a nighttime practice, and there's going to be 3 phases of it, and it's going to be all about being able to recreate your identity. So that's going to be coming up soon, and when I finish that, lockdown is going away. So if you want to get $2,000 worth of stuff handed to you, go to lockdown.thunderwizard.com. Go to thunderwizard.com if you want to support the channel and get in-depth specific mastery teachings and save, get 2 months off if you sign up for a year. All right, that's it. Let's see, Dean Nevins. Question. Is the Hool breath a good way to balance my retrograde Saturn? It's an excellent way. That was a really smart question because the Hool breath is Saturn. Saturn is Mother Hulda. So by chanting the Hool breath, you are balancing your karma and your retrograde Saturn. Very good question. Don't know what the Hool breath is? You guys go just search for it on YouTube. Hool breath. You do that. I'll give you a challenge. Anybody that don't want to buy the lockdown package, they don't want to subscribe to this, and who are you, you spiritual teacher? Why are you forcing me to buy things? All right, you don't have to buy a thing. If you are serious about your spiritual transformation and you want to achieve enlightenment, moksha, superhero status, do the Hool breath for an hour a day for a year. If you do that for 1 hour a day for 1 year, I will not give you any attitude for not, watching the videos or doing anything else. Because that's what people say. They say, I'm really serious. I'll do anything, but I don't believe in people charging for spirituality. Okay, you want to prove to me you're serious? That, you can't get any more profound than that. Go do that. Do it for an hour a day for a year, then I'll believe you. Until then, all right, what else? All right, there we go. No more questions? We're all good? All right, guys, thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to go and eat some food and lie down, and I don't know what else I'm going to do. All right, guys. If, by the way, what is the, I forget what it's called. I have the new website up. Is it warrior.thunderwizard.com? Let me see here. I think that's it. Yep, that's it. I don't have anything on there right now, but warrior.thunderwizard.com, because it will be up eventually, warrior.thunderwizard.com. That is where the new transformation, it's not a package, a transformation, we're going to do it together. The transformation, I don't know, series. We're going to do it together, those that want to. That's where it's going to be. So if you want me to tell you when that is up and running, then when this video has streamed and it's archived, go on and leave your email address, and I'll put it, in my folder. And when it's up and running, I'll email you. I'll probably introduce it with some kind of a discount, as a discount. So if you want to get a hold of that when it's up and running, let me know, and I will email it to you. Or just keep watching, because of course I'll tell you as soon as it's ready to go. All right, that's it for me. I will catch you guys all next time. Stay safe, and I wish everybody the best. All right, I will talk to you later.